And I just assumed when I got close to him and smelt him that this was naturally what he smelt like. And I just thought some boys were born magically fragrant and lovely. So it was a big shock to find out he was wearing this. It was a defining scent for me in terms of how intoxicating scent can be. In all honesty, I still have yet to find another male scent that matches this. The fantasy, what men could be like, it didn't match up to the reality of men. I don't think I've ever come across a man who encapsulates everything that I smelled in this that I thought men could be so far. It could change.
Christopher Brosius is in the business of evoking memories. He profits from the sense of loss that fragrance exploits.
Scent is really about emotion. There is an enormous connection between scent and memory.
Or at least I feel.
People smell something and they immediately flash on an experience that they've had. The smell actually evokes the emotion that you felt at the time that you were experiencing the thing that became the memory.
Sharp as thumbtacks coming down low.
You know, when people, without, really thinking it or expecting it, pick up a bottle and suddenly they are really transfixed and they're in a different place and a different time and feeling something that they'd utterly forgotten about. But suddenly, in this simple little bottle, here it is again. And I have clients who keep them kind of as a modern smelling salt, if you will. If they're in their office and their boss is being more than a little demanding that day or incredibly difficult, they can take a bottle out of their desk drawer or their bag and smell it, and at least for a few brief seconds, they have a break. They're somewhere else. They feel better.
Brosius has his own way of recovering times past.
This is the makings of Memory of Kindness, which is a perfume that's very, very important to me. It's really the smell of tomato leaves and tomato vines growing in a garden. I wanted that smell. I wanted it to smell like tomato leaves. One of the earliest memories I have is of creeping very quietly one summer afternoon. Crawled under the tomato vines in my aunt's garden.
It was a very good year.
I'm sitting in the dirt under the vines, which, to a small child seem, kind of like a jungle. It's like wild and it's another country in there. And, when I was a child in the country, gardens were important, particularly vegetable ones. They fed the family frequently, so they were really not to be messed with. And, a lot of people would have scolded a child for going in there, but my aunt, that was not her way. She gave me a cookie, and I realized, she is perhaps the kindest person I've ever known. And, so much of my childhood are memories, involving her. And that just all-pervading sense of kindness. And it all comes back to the smell of a tomato leaf.
Who lived up the stairs?
So that's what that perfume is really all about.
I can see You're transported as you smell this. Is that what people come to you wanting to experience?
Yes.
Transport?
Yes. Yes.
Bali High may call you.
A few streets away across Brooklyn is the home of fashion designer Sean Crowley.
In your heart, you will hear it call you.
He's American, but pines constantly for an England that vanished somewhere around 1930.
Having an English grandfather who was an Anglophile himself, growing up with lots of old things around, getting to know the comfort of a nice kind of worn-in thing really sort of gave me the bug for all things English. Bit of a mug, a pot with a handle, and thank you. It's complete.
Crowley loves Old Albion as only someone who doesn't live there can. He's got everything but the smell.
There's an unmistakably British, weird, fusty, musty, old smell that I love. I don't know how you'd bottle that. I mean, the kinds of things I imagine, tweed has a very distinctive smell. I mean, certainly when it gets wet, it really becomes quite pungent. It smells like a wet dog.
Yeah, a bit.
If you could make it work, I think I would love to wear it, because I don't have a fragrance at the moment.
Your own.
Christopher Brosius is renowned locally for his alchemy. Crowley wants a scent that will take him across the sea without the inconvenience of leaving home. His vision may be a bit Sherlock Holmes, but it's a start. Brosius seems to be thinking more Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Someday you'll see me.
Yay! What is it that you're after here?
Well, I mean, I'm an Anglophile. I love old, musty things.
A bit of an Anglophile myself.
Forgiven.
Let's discuss your experience of England. Well,
Things like, pipe tobacco.
but where do you really smell it when you're there?
Out of the pipe that I'm smoking.
Yes, but that you are smoking.
Yes.
Okay.
Cobblestones
Okay.
are in evidence.
Okay.
Wet tweed sleeve. That's one you should work on. Of like an old army greatcoat from
Okay.
packed in a crate for 60 years kind of
Yep.
smell. And that is a strangely pleasant and distinctly
get
English
that.
smell.
Okay. That makes sense. I really love the smell of our books.
Well, you
So,
took
I
the
buy
words out of
them-
my mouth.
Yeah.
No, put that one down. Old books, that was on there.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can think of that really means England to you?
Whiskey, Scotch.
All of these things really do fit together. It would make a very, very, very nice smell.
Before they can create any fragrance, students at the Nose School must absorb a great body of knowledge about scented raw materials, man-made and natural elements, animal, mineral and vegetable. In midsummer, Jean Guichard takes his pupils to Provence to study lavender.
They have to see, the plant, and maybe, looking at the plant, looking at what it is in the nature. When they work with lavender, it is not something abstract. That might give them, some idea, for, project or whatever.
Lavender is a keynote in a whole class of scents, the ferns or fougères.
There is one family very important, it is Foucher fern. That family is very successful for men. Big examples are, the old Brut from Fabergé, Parcoraman for men, Le Male, or 1 Million. I always tell them, well, work, 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 but I mean, don't work like a rat in a lab, because you won't have the idea like that. Can you hear the bees?
Oh, I'm scared.
I like to be here alone, with no noise around, no people talking, no cars, just to hear to sleep in the middle of the field. Think about the next future lavender. Not old ladies, but young ladies. Young ladies, yeah. Beautiful young ladies.
So that is clary sage. Clary sage, we use that also in perfumery. It's a raw material that is very successful for men's products. And some people like, that smell very much, but very often we say it's a bit sweaty. It smells like sweat, but not the female sweat, male sweat. Do you like the smell of it? No? Yes, you like. Yes, usually it's very controversial.
After a few days in the sunshine, the students appreciate the value of getting out of the lab. Jean-Claude Elena is also out of the lab, looking for inspiration, and finding it in Paris.
On the top of the Hermès boutique, on the roof, you have a small garden. Nobody knows from the street that we have a garden on the top. It's a very peaceful place. It's another world. So I play with that.
Elena has made the relationship between man and nature a theme of his recent fragrances.
And you have a pear trees here that smell wonderful. Roses here. You have a magnolia here.
These then will be the elements in the perfume Garden on the Roof, next in a series of fragrances inspired by exotic gardens. Back in the south, Elena visits specialist chemical suppliers to order minute quantities of raw materials for his experiments. If any of these make it into his finished perfume, the order will be measured in hundreds of kilos, costing thousands of euros. Back at his desk in the woods, the juices start to flow.
Here, digging the story. And for me, it's not perfume actually. Maybe I have to bring in this perfume the feeling of the sun, the feeling of the dew of the morning.
Once he starts, there's no stopping Elena. Ideas tumble out, and technician Anne Maynard turns every one into a chemical sketch.
Here are all the tries, yes, and this is about 3 weeks' work.
All of this is 3 weeks' work?
Yes. In per day, Jean-Claude can make like 10 or 12 maximum tries like this.
When you say you often clean it,
Because it's full. And I need to clean it.
Yes.
Chocolate doesn't like this, but I like to clean.
yes, but when you say clean,